XOMA Exotics presents Not Another Reptile podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Where did Chris go?
Chris disappeared for a minute.
Okay.
He may have hit the wrong button on his phone.
Definitely did. Definitely.
We'll go ahead and do some shout outs real quick. I see he just come back in. We're going to get the shout outs done. Hey, James, how's it going?
Sammy.
Hey.
Sammy.
Sammy.
Come on.
Sammy will be here tomorrow evening, him and John.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to stay with us for the weekend for the show.
Sweet. Very fun.
Yes. Hey, Blakers.
What's going on?
What's up, Blake?
Casey.
Casey. And that
What's up, Casey?
awesome logo he won on the auction.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's sick.
Hey, Rob.
Rob gets wraps from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Kristen.
it's local.
Hey,
What's up,
Will.
Kristen? Well, my B-Day bro.
Oh.
Same day, same year.
Oh, wow. Hey, Nikki. So, Chris, you're the first guest I've had on twice.
Uh-oh.
I was like, I got to get Chris back on. You're a ton of knowledge. Everybody loves you, too.
Well, thank you.
True that. True that.
Here we go. What's up, Chris? I'm on my way home from work. Got to make some extra money. Thank you for wearing that shirt.
You got it, man. That's because you keep buying on them snakes.
Right.
Dr. Joe?
Buy some of mine at Dallas, right, Sammy?
Hey, Dr. Joe. I hope to see you tomorrow, but I don't know because we got a lot of traveling to do.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be hectic.
Yeah. You start traveling tomorrow too, don't you?
Tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Woo.
On the road for 17-ish hours, stopping in Little Rock, Arkansas, and then waking up at 7:30 and be in Dallas on Friday around noonish. If everything goes perfect. Hopefully nothing nuts happens, but plan to be there noon, 1 o'clock, Friday in Dallas.
Right.
So just you and your dad going?
Yep, Frank was supposed to come with us, but he had a little mishap with planning. His dogs couldn't get a place for his dog to stay, so had to cancel, which we were bummed about. We were all bummed about, but his dog's a little hard to find a spot for. He's I think he said it. He was a dog trainer, so his dog is like bite trained, protection trained, and a lot of kennels don't like to take protection dogs.
Yeah, I guess.
6 days notice or whatever. So,
Hey, Phil.
so it's just us two, which be a good weekend though. Drive might suck, but the weekend I'm super stoked for.
Oh, he says driving's gonna suck, and his poor dad is just gonna be behind the wheel.
Hey, I'm taking some legs, and
All right, you better.
I know. I joke with him all the time. It's like I offer to drive, he just never lets me.
Yay! Tyler's New York. He's out. He's close.
Close enough.
How you
What up,
doing, man?
Wiz?
Let's see. And there's Jamie. Right.
Jamie.
All right.
We have to add her to the PA crew, and she is hilarious.
She's a hoot.
Yes, she's a hoot. Go ahead, Tyler.
Chris, this is a question I've wanted to ask you for a while. What is your favorite species you have that's not ball pythons?
That's a tough question. It's tough to have a favorite. I think as far as like size and so far that I've worked with, I can only speak with the species that I've worked with and had the experience with, because if I had a pair of Bolins, I'd probably say a pair of Bolins. But as from up to date to what I've worked with, I think the pine snakes are my favorite species to work with, just all around. Just the different colors, the localities, the behavioral aspect, food aggression, just everything, all about them, roundabout, just kind of, even the way that they're kept, because they're a North American species.
Easy.
You can literally stick them in an aquarium and put them in your room like people think they can do with ball pythons. That should be like the beginner snake, colubrids. So, speaking of which,
do you like those better than the balls, or is that the top one you have right now, just species wise?
It's tough. I enjoy the interaction with them sometimes a little bit more, but I do still genuinely enjoy interaction with the ball pythons. But the interaction with the ball pythons is more of a just the whole color and pattern and what could be done in the future. Whereas like I'd say more with the pine snakes and bull snakes and most of the colubrid species, it's definitely a personality thing, because the majority of them look alike, but they don't. There's very fine things that are different in them, but they're I mean, even the ball pythons have individuality, attitudes as well. But I mean, let's face it, it's one of three things with a ball python. You never know with a pine or a bull. So yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
What is your most spicy ball python genetic wise?
Geez. I got one male that's he's a double visual. He's a hypo DG, and he was just a beast from the day I got him. Like, I pulled him out of the bag, and he was just literally trying to eat me. He came out just like swinging, and I thought it was crazy, and I just figured he was stressed out. I put him in his cage, and as soon as I opened that, man, I touched him to pick him up, and he turned and came right at me, and I was like, "What is this? This is not a ball python."
Yep.
And it came from a big breeder, so I assume that cage was opened and dropped and shut, and that was it. Like, he only got messed with to clean, and when he got messed with, he was probably hooked, because he tamed down, but when he came out, there was no holding. Like, you could tell he wasn't held.
Yeah.
But he's all right now, but once he turns on the food, he's still coming right at you.
Yeah. So at least the beast of an eater, though.
Oh yeah, solid. He just eats solid small rats like straight through the breeding season, and he's solid, like 1,200 gram male.
Yeah,
it's not huge, but he's solid.
Those are my favorite males. 1,200.
Totally. Yep. Yeah. I have a couple females that just hate life, but I mean, that's normal. I don't blame them. We throw a male in there, we feed them, and we just kind of, we handle them here and there, but some are angry.
Yep.
I guess our most spicy is she's het puzzle. She hates Bobby with a passion. Every time you open that drawer, and if he's in the room, she is tracking him down. I'm like,
that's great.
We bought her for him as a gift. So I'm like, that's a gift that keeps giving.
Yes, that's perfect. That's a perfect thing.
That's hilarious, because the one that I have, you'd swear it's kinked, because every time you open it, it's always in the same position like that. I've never opened the tub and it's down or looking backwards.
It's never relaxed, always tense.
Literally, every single time you open it, it's ready to go. And it was a gift for my dad, kind of as a joke. But talks about tri-stripes. It's just like a genie's wanted. So I found someone who was like, it was het to het. Looks kind of like a visual, but like some het tri-stripes have like really weird
the markers on some of them are
so they were like, I don't know if it's a visual or a het.
Here he goes, y'all.
And it was
Chris.
And I think it's het albino or pos albino or something like that. I'm never gonna use it for that. Got it for like $150 because they were like good friends. Or like, just take it. I was like, okay, cool. So I got my dad a asshole of a tri-stripe female. I'm like, here, it's yours. You got to go hold it. And every time he just gets nailed.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Like,
Yeah, my strip's pretty chill. I have an acid male that's a little feisty. He's always lunging when I open the cage, just like for food. But yeah, other than that, there's none that really are just like trying to attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark.
yeah, most of my
What's up, Mark?
adults, once they get past like 300 grams, 400 grams, most of them aren't bad. But like,
Yeah.
for some reason, it sucks this year. Every pied we've made has had the worst attitude ever. So like, I don't know why. Every single pied, I think we had 9-ish pieds, just visuals this year. Every one of them was horrible. So like, kids would come up and want to hold them, and we're like, we can't. Like, and those are the best things that like kids want, or even parents want to get their kids.
Mhm.
Like, your kid's gonna get its finger bit or something. So we're like,
Sometimes you gotta learn.
you can't hold at shows or whatever, which sucks because everyone wants to.
Oh yeah, that always catches people's eyes, man. The pods or the bananas. I
Right.
usually designate a normal, just a cheap normal, and I'll let kids hold it, and I'll work with it a little bit more before I take it to the shows, just for that simple fact. And actually, this last show at Gettysburg, we brought a couple of the breeder pine snakes and a bull snake because they were out of brumation. So it was neat to get these, 5.5-foot big colubrids out, and so people to see them and like listen. The one female is very vocal, so she was hissing a lot, and like she actually like mock struck at the kid that was holding her. I had to help her, and she head butted him. And I was like, oh man, I was like, good thing you dodged that. But they'll do that. They'll hiss loud, and they'll kind of like they'll headbutt you almost. But then you don't respect that, then they're coming at you.
Right.
What's
Hey,
up, Jeremy?
I've got Bobby in the snake room. I was in there with him right before the show, so we're trying to get everything done before this weekend. So I feel your pain.
Yep. It's tough rushing out. I'm going away for the weekend as well, so I got tomorrow to get all my stuff done too. My cousin's coming over to help me out, do some rat stuff. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got old guy over here pulling.
That's the rat helper.
Yeah,
the rat.
he's pulling 5 adults for Dallas.
Nice.
Animals ready.
So
Oh yeah, look at that girl.
you got a few adults, 5 adults we're bringing. So he's just pulling them, bagging them, and getting them ready so we can leave in the morning. And yeah, so
Don't forget my patches, Tyler.
we were cleaning the van this week, and I got the bag of patches and was like, I'm not taking them out of the van. They've stayed in the van since I got them, so they're staying in the van.
She is thick.
Forget them.
Speaking of patches, anybody that wants any, just hit me up in the DM. I am swapping. I just got to get some addresses and start sending some out. So, anybody wants to do some swaps?
I need some swag. I need some
I know. Swag's coming. I'll get you the patches and stuff. I got to get on Nathan. Me and Nathan have to sit down and do some final discussing. Our schedules have been crisscrossing.
Yeah, I need to get with him too with t-shirts and stuff later. Later. Everybody wants a t-shirt. When they see mine, they're like, where did you buy that at? I'm like, well. Hey, John, how's it going? I'm trying to pull up your comment here, but are you clicking the button?
Johnny.
Not touching. So when I came and saw you and delivered some cheaper to you, Chris, you had we checked out your rat room for a bit. So what threw you into the rats, and how are the rats going right now? Did you add more racks, get more rats, or are you staying like consistent size right now? When from the last time I saw you?
From last time I saw me, I expanded a little bit. I'm still in the same 10x20 shed, but I went away. I did. I used to do about like 98 maternity females a month. So every week I'd pull like 33 to 35 pregnant moms or moms of babies and put them in their own bins. and then I have to clean the adult tubs or the breeding tubs like normal, and then every 3 weeks I'm cleaning, or every month, once a week basically, I'm cleaning 35 maternity tubs, and that just like got old. So I stopped doing that altogether, and now I'm just running all breeder tubs, like a 1.5 in the mixing tubs, cement tubs. And then I have 2 ARS. What the hell are they? They hold 32, not 50, 32.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, they're 4 across and they're 8 down. I can't think of the size of them though. They're bigger than like an F10.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason.
But similar. I have 2 of them running. I run like a 1.4 in them as well. And then I have the other ARS, which is the 50 slot, which is like a FB5, I believe, or it's a little bit bigger than the 5. That holds 5 across and 10 high.
And so you're not doing maternity anymore. You're just going colony breeding, right?
Just going colony breeding, and then I'm just I'm scooping when I need to fill orders or feed my snakes, or I'm scooping when I clean the tubs at like. I go about 2 weeks with my cleanings because I can go about 2 weeks before I have to clean anything.
Okay.
But then in that 50 slot, I run mice and ASFs. So I got about 35 colonies of ASFs, and then I'm trying to build up to about 10 to 15 colonies of mice, just to kind of have a little bit of everything in case I have fussy feeders or whatnot. I got everything in the the gamut to throw at them.
John said it was a 50-32.
Yeah, that's the one, 50-32. I wasn't sure if it was 50 or what they placed that number at. So they're nice. I really like them. They're convenient. I wish they had a better like nozzle guard, but that's all right. They work. Got to get I want to get a pressurized water system. Filling up water is brutal.
You're talking my language. That's our next project with the
I want to run a full I want to run a pressurized line or like a float system off a main reservoir, but just some way that it's, if I get a flood though, I need some sort of anti float meter or something.
We were thinking about doing the float system and just not leaving it on all the time, but just walk in the room,
crank it up,
turn it on. And when you leave, make sure all the buckets are full, turn it off. So you don't we climb up on the ladders, we're hosing all the bins.
That's how I am.
Like, just turn it on for a minute or two, let all the buckets fill, turn it off. So
let everything level out while you're working in there. Yeah.
Hey, Exotic.
I like that. Yep. That's what I'll end up doing.
And how much has your production lowered, like quantity wise, from doing the no maternities, just straight colonies?
At first it took a little while to get into the flow of things and get into that rhythm, because I used to, when I pull a mom, I would pull the mom and I would pull the date she was in rotation, like to breed, and then like her litter size and the date the litter was, so I knew what week it was on, how big they should be. And then at first I saw a little bit of a drop, but then once I figured out what I had to do. I had to designate a few more tubs to like raise ups. So I would have to pull like 9 moms that were nursing and just throw a bunch of colonies together of like, say, 30 or 35 pups to weans and let the moms bring them up as others were having babies in the tubs. Because, once you have 3 female strap litters, if they're a week apart, by the time those pups are killing all those pinkies, and you're losing a whole litter of babies if you're not pulling them pups out. So you got to stay on top of that.
Hey, Charlie. There's your buddy, Charlie.
Hey, Charles. He's from Jersey, but he's in the PH yet.
I'm from Durant, I'm from Texas, but I'm in there.
Ziploc baggy, freshly sealed, Rob. But and now once I got the hang of it, I got a couple of the big mason tubs for grow outs. The ball's definitely rolling now. I hit a little bit of a slump in the winter. My fan ran overnight for a couple nights and it got too cold, so everything shut down. So I was like, I was hurting for a couple months, but now we're definitely up on the up. And now there's enough rodents in there that. And I have it on a thermostat, but for some reason I don't know why I didn't have the thermostat on. I forget what happened, but now they produce enough heat that unless it drops into the single digits, you don't need any supplementary heat.
Okay, got you. Interesting.
Ours is in the garage. We definitely have to keep the heat on because it's not insulated.
Yeah.
And then in the summertime, the air conditioner runs. So, I mean, it will get too hot in there. So, typically here, a nice hot summer days are around 112. So,
yeah, we're lucky if we hit like 98, 99 is like hot for us. And it's been, I mean, we usually don't hit that often. And I have a mini split in there, but the motherboard cooked. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put another fan in and I'm just going to force air through that this summer and use that instead of trying to put an air conditioner in there. And worst comes to worst, I'll go to Ollie's and buy a $80 unit and just slap it in the side of the shed and throw it out in a year. You know, as wasteful as it sounds, it's $80. You know,
Sounds about right.
Sounds right. Yep. Our mini split broke in 2 months.
No,
so
a little more than 2 months.
I last about a year and a half, but yeah, still though, it's like $800.
The coil got messed up so bad, even after
quick.
Yeah, because all the dust, we'd clean the filters once or twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
or just all the rats, and it got bad, broken. Yeah, 3-4 months maybe. So we're thinking the same thing. Go buy like cheap AC units and throw them in there. And
yeah, it's safe so far, Danny.
Yeah.
You're safe, Danny.
They were dancing in the chat today. Phew.
Oh, I know. I couldn't keep up. Memes and everything is hilarious.
Yeah. Good stuff. That chair was good stuff. My grandfather has one of them. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
So what big projects are you working on your ball pythons, like genetic wise?
The hypo clown is a big passion of mine. That's something I'm really, I worked a lot. I hatched a lot of clown hets and then hypo hets. I really started focusing on that the last couple of years. The whole thing really changed, around COVID. I think I had to do one of those collection evaluations, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, from 13 to 17 or 18, I was just like, I breed snakes in my garage for fun. I raise my own ruins. It pays for itself. I go to shows. I spend money. Like I buy things, but I wasn't breeding to support myself. And I only had like 3 or 4 racks. And then when we moved up here in like 18 is when I was like, okay, what are we doing with this? What is going on here? And then everything with COVID into like 20 made me really open my eyes with a previous employer. And I was like, you know what? I'm fuck the man. I'm tired of working for somebody else after I got screwed out of somebody I gave 10 years of my life for to make him rich. And he ended up just, fucking me. So I was like, screw that. I don't want to have to rely on anybody else. And that's when I dropped, like 60, 70K into everything, the shed, the AirS racks, double visual males, just all kinds of stuff. And then I just slowly started building from there hardcore in like 2020, 19 or so. I still had some of the colubrids, but I really started focusing on higher end ball python stuff at that point in time. Up until then, it was just codoms, and we had held back a bunch of codom females, but nothing exciting, to good stuff that now I'm making some good double and triple hets with. But as far as market goes, it's just nobody wants it. But it is what it is. They serve their purpose. I created them. I raised them up. They helped me get the knowledge of where I'm at today. It was when I had a yellow belly female and I bred a lemon blast fire to it. And I got to break down, okay, this is what fire does to pinstripe. This is what a lemon blast yellow belly looks like. This is what a spinner blast looks like for different pairings. And I got to compare all these different codoms. And it really helps now when I'm hatching stuff out and I'm like, okay, that's what this is. You always still got a second guess thing. You get other people's opinions. It never hurts. But building all those females up and making like 4 and 5 gene females and then using those females to make my doubles and triples, it's just that's just kind of how I build it up to now. So the hypo clown, that's a big one. DG hypo stuff, I'm really interested in that. Ultramel clown, I'm gonna be focusing on that mostly next year. That's gonna be a bigger project. Albino pies was always just something. It's not a huge genetic thing, but they're cool. People like them if they see them on the table. I mean, I think something like that's going to become like it is a double visual, but it's one of the most original double visuals. So I think that's going to become like your good pet snake. It's going to be in there with that banana range eventually,
Right.
So
Hey, John.
still, yeah, still just building the double visuals and some triples and stuff, and codoms and sprinkling some stuff in here and there as we go along.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the albino pied stuff, we got rid of our breeders this probably a month ago. And the last albino stock we got is 2 male pied head albinos. So we decided we bred them for like 3 years, made albino pies, albinos pies, bought like all that stuff.
Right.
We were like, at this point, we'll get rid of them and make because really the only albino stuff I want right now, which technically it's T positive, but Monarch. So it's like I'll just do that. We got candy stuff too, which is similar enough to albino. So,
yeah, I work with a little bit of candy too. I enjoy that one, candy pies. Yeah. We only have like 1 or 2 of the albino pies, and it's just something that like from back in the day, it was a project that we just messed with back when like me and my original partner started this. It was something, and like we still have it. I hatched one, but it was a partho, so I don't know if that really counts.
There you go. Hey, John, here's some love, Tyler.
I'm ready to see what John got for Monarch
gang
in Dallas. It was on my list. I was talking about it today.
He's all top secret with that stuff.
Hey, John.
I'm picking up my 2 in Dallas, so I finally got it.
I'm trying to ask John. Hey, John, when are you going to come in? Are you headed this way tomorrow? I really want to know that.
So,
what are you picking up?
Me?
Yeah. What monarch are you picking up?
Monarch het pied female and a monarch pied female. So,
nice.
Both of those girls from Troy. Yeah, buddy. So,
deal. Good.
I got the it's a pastel monarch pied and a monarch het pied, both female.
Nice.
I got those and getting some more monarch stuff soon. That's my big new
push.
Yeah, I got I think 6-ish pairing or 3-4 pairings for double het monarch clowns, 2 for triple hets, monarch clown pieds, monarch clown hypos.
Cool,
some other monarch pied project pairings this year, some visual monarch pairings this year too. So it's a newer project. I kind of fell into it, which was funny at the start. But now I'm like really trying to throw everything at it. So
do you guys still work Ultramel as well, or just the monarch?
It's funny because like I love hearing people like argue about like monarch or Ultramel or whatever. But it's like we literally fell into monarch. So when we picked up the collection, there was a little issue in transit, so a few animals died. Driving them from Chicago here, and actually this is the first time I'm talking about it publicly. But so the people we got the collection from, Liz and Kyle, who Troy got all his monarch stuff from, reached out to Troy and was like, "Hey, would you give him a monarch male who at the time was pos het pied, and het monarch that was also pos het pied at the time. Both tested not het pied, which kind of sucked. But just for the animals we lost." And Troy and Liz and Kyle were great. So that's we really fell into it.
Oh wow!
And it was unfortunate that some of the animals passed away in transit, but it happens. And for them we told them like, you don't need to do anything, like it's fine, we get it. And they shot us a monarch and a het. So since then, I fell in love with him since he started like growing a lot more. So I've been buying more.
And you went back to Troy to get more, correct?
Every Monarch I've bought was from Troy or het.
So
Technically.
Anything for that project, you went back to Troy basically.
Yep, I bought
or that area, right?
So I got a super pastel het Monarch female. A couple months after that, I bought a 1,300 gram fire Monarch female from him, who's 18 millimeters with a Super Enchiodi Hypoclown right now.
Nice.
And the 2 Monarchs I'm picking up, Matt Dallas, and then technically it's not mine, but Frank bought it. It's a pastel double het Monarch G-stripe we're going to do pairings with in the future. Is the only Monarch in my collection, not from Troy. It's from Tom Harbin. Frank bought it from Tom for us to do split pairings with in the future. So it's very important that everybody listening takes note of that, of what happened there, because you got to take care of your customers. And you see how this trickled down the line. You know, there was a situation, something happened with the animals, and these people were nice enough to reach out to Troy, whoever took the collection, and they made right on what was wrong with animals or whatever. Even though the buyer didn't want it, they still made right. And now look where that led to. All his Monarch stuff, you gave your business to that man, right? Oh, 100%. And I think, I'm not gonna say I don't like people who aren't that way, but like I'm that way. If you treat me right, I will treat you great, and I hope everyone's like that. Like for me, I give my vote of confidence with my money. So like, that's how I believe and I've always done it. And it's not against anyone else with Monarch. I want everyone's Monarch stuff, but like Troy's just had the stuff I wanted at the time and always been always.
And you'll look there first. And then if he doesn't have what you want, his feelings aren't going to get hurt if you go somewhere else. But it's the respect that you look there.
Yeah, he's my quote unquote mentor in the whole thing. I don't ever call him my mentor, or he never, really, but if I need to call him, if he needs like whatever, I just from the beginning, one of my first snakes was from him. That was a nice visual female, and since then he's been great. So customer service for me is great, and I try and hold up my end of the bargain.
We're gonna take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
Meet Sammy, a ball python breeder with a specialty in the pied project. When you meet him, don't be shy to ask questions about his snakes, as he loves to share his knowledge and experience with others. He's a friendly and approachable guy who is always happy to chat with fellow reptile enthusiasts. Whether you are a seasoned snake breeder or just starting out, Sammy is the perfect person to connect with if you are interested in the pied project. So keep a lookout for that hot pink shirt.
Are you looking for a place to go for affordable logo packages? In search of a top quality logo that won't break the bank? Look no further than SinkingPencil, the place to go for affordable logo packages. They offer exceptional logo packages at affordable prices.
Hello, Patrick. So, Chris, how many clutches are you expecting this year?
Let's see here. I probably have about maybe 50 to 55 females that I'm kind of pairing on and off. Now these are some females that went last year, some that didn't go last year, and you kind of get to learn them after you've had them in your collection so many years. And of course, we have 3 so far on the ground, and They were all girls that didn't go. Well, actually, I'm sorry. One did go last year. This is the second time a female did this for me. She went within the same year cycle. So she dropped her eggs like 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but the last time she laid was 11 months prior.
Oh, damn.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
She cycled. That's the second time.
Crazy. How many of you had this year so far?
3. I'm on clutch 3. So it's kind of early for me, but I usually have a few stragglers before or around the beginning of April. And then I usually get hit sporadically in May and then June. It's usually like last year, it was like every other day. I was getting clutches and some on double days. But I think at the end of the day, I think around 20 to 25 ball python / like 1 or 2 blood clutches is where I want to be at. I did like 38 and 22, and that was way too many.
Species.
Well, that's just ball python. So yeah, and then we'll do we got 10, hopefully, 9 because the Mexican blacks are gone. So 9 colubrid clutches, hopefully, if everything goes all right. That's like pines, bulls, and that's it. Just different varieties of pines and bull snakes.
And are those doubling or double clutching or no?
The one did double clutch for me last year. There's only one female that's really, she goes early and she doesn't always double clutch, but she did last year. So only one I'll try to do that with just because she does it on her own. So I might as well throw a male in there.
Right.
But the other one's usually only just single clutches. And then this should be a big year for boas. I'm pairing a lot of boas. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm hoping for 4 to 6 litters of boas.
Now they have babies, right?
Well, the boas, the Colombians do. They can have from like a dozen to 30 to 50 to they can have a lot. The localities I work with Tarahumarians, which are like a Mexican mountain species. So they're in a 55-40. That's all I need. My female is like 3.5 foot long, and she's the girth. I can't even think of what the girth like to compare her to. She eats at the biggest. She'll eat a small rat, like push it maybe a 65-80 gram rat, give or take. And that's only when like she's building, like when I'm breeding her. Other than that, she gets weaned rats. So they'll only have like 8 to 9 babies, but they have like big babies, like big, healthy, like Sharpie thick babies. Mm-hmm. Whereas some of the other species, like the Peruvians, they have a few more, but they're smaller, like skinnier. Okay. So it all depends on where they're from. And
how did you get into those? Because when I saw you or met you for the first time, I think it was in Oaks. You had those, and I've never seen them before, heard of them before, and every time I've seen you since you have them, and I'm like, I've still seen no one with these. So what got you into them? Where did you get them from? That kind of stuff.
I always loved boas as a kid. I had a pair of boas. Like I collected when I was a kid collecting garter snakes and water snakes, and I would go collect rabid females and bring them home and let them have their babies, and then I'd mess with the babies and just let everything go, and like towards summer. So I was always into that, and the boas, I had a pair when I was younger, and I like never successfully bred them. So it was always kind of like I gotta get a successful litter. I had a bunch of slugs. And they were like big Colombians. It was no Morphs back in the there was in the early 90s, but I was a high school kid. I couldn't afford any of that. So then, like, as I got back into it, I just, I looked around and realized like the niche of locality boas. You don't see a whole lot of them around. And when you do, they're a little bit pricey, and they're not the easiest to breed. Any boa is not easy to breed. You really gotta work at it. So I was like, well, I don't know what boas I want to work with. I know what some I like. And then my one buddy he was getting rid of some of his boas and changing gears. And he's like, I have these Tarahumarians. They're from Vin Russo. He got them directly from Vin. And I was like, I don't know much about them, but he was like, I just want, this for them. And I was like, whatever, I'll take them. They're cool little boas. And I got them in 2014. And I think they were 2012, I think is when they were born. And then like 3 years ago is when I first got them to breed. So like, that's just to tell you how old they were. They were about 10 years old before I even got them to give me a litter.
And that's not common. They're not ones that take 5-6 years to raise up, or
you probably could get a litter at 6 or 7 years old if like you knew what you were doing and bred them before, but I had never bred locality boas before. So like, I didn't think I was getting them cold enough at night. So like they just weren't going. The mojo wasn't in the air. So one day I was just like, I put them in a tub and I put them in my basement and dropped them down to like 60 degrees. And I'm like, God, I hope I don't kill them. But I looked on my weather map and like I Googled where they're from. I Googled a couple pinpoints in, the Tarahumara mountain range in Durango, Mexico. And I looked at the weather and I looked what the weather did throughout the year. And I kind of just mimicked it. I mean, think about it. That's you can mimic what Mother Nature is giving them and put them together. Something's going to happen.
Hey,
So
Sean,
I just don't think I was getting them cold enough.
yeah,
and
that's crazy. I don't think I could wait for 6 years on anything.
Yeah.
that's why we do ball pythons. We're impatient. How many other people are breeding those? Or is it more of, I know even ball python morphs are very like region based. Like you'll find genes up in the Northeast that you won't find at Dallas or in our, or very limited. So is it like no one in the Northeast really? Because I've never seen them at all the shows I've been to. Never seen them. I don't know if I'm not looking hard enough. But like how many other people are breeding those? And what have you found the market to be selling those? Because I had no clue they were even a thing before I met you.
There's a few people breed them. I don't know if Vin still breeds them regularly. He was like a founder of a lot of people's stocks. There is some zoo stock floating around. I'm not sure from what zoo. There's a guy out in California that breeds them. I can't think of his name right now. He's got a boa channel. He's real awkward looking.
Jason? Is it Jason?
Well, no, Jason's from New England. He breeds them too.
Yeah.
Jason's Exotics.
Yeah, I knew he was from.
Yeah, Jason, he breeds them as well. I don't think Nerd messes with those. There's a few little niche guys that have some. I know Chris from Copperhead Reptilia. He's got a few. I don't know if he's going to breed them, though. He's mostly like a collector. He's got a ton of species. Brian Boas, that's his name. He's out in California. He breeds them. He breeds a lot of cool locality boas. He's got a few I want to get my hands on. But they're just cool because you can put them in your 55-40 or your 70-30. Even the Costa Ricans and the Peruvians I have, they're like maybe a 4.5-5 foot boa, and a 70-30 is fine for them, and they only eat a small rat.
How have you been able to sell them? Like,
Brian,
do they sell all right? Or is it like kind of or is it just you sell to the other 6 guys and it's like just trading stock or selling stock back and forth? Because I'm just wondering how the market looks for those.
Not necessarily. So the Tarahumars and the Costa Ricans, they took I sat on them for about 3 or 4 months before I even tried posting them anyway. Like I wanted to make sure these things were established and well eating. And I'm like, I'm a pretty good big stickler like on that. Like I'm never in a rush to put anything up. I probably have like, I don't know, 30 animals, 40 animals yet. And I only have like 3 up on Morph Market. Like they're all doing fine and eating, but I have some shows coming up. I'm just not in a stickler to put them up until things start hitting the ground. But they took about a year, maybe 16 months to sell. And some of the prices came down on them. If somebody got a pair, I dropped prices on them, and I did some trades. Like I traded Shane Kelly for a pair of the Tarahumarans. Cause when like, if you come up and talk to me and like, you show me passion in a species that I work with, I'm going to give you a pair to work with. Like, I'm just like that type of person that, like, if I can see the passion in your eyes, like, I'd rather just like see you enjoy that species and have the experience to work with it if you could. And whatever, you want to trade something? Cool.
I love that. I love that. Really. Like, that's super cool.
Hey, Vinny.
That's how Shane was. What's up, Vinny? So they're fun. They're definitely interesting. Definitely interesting to work with. So hopefully, next year I'm gonna hopefully get breed some Argentine boas. They're a locality boa, but they get big. So
Hey,
Tyler.
what?
No, I was gonna have Holly ask you a question because I've been talking too much. But I was gonna say the only 2 boas I've ever wanted. There was only one, and it was the Argentine. Like, that's my dream kind of animal.
So
Until
nice.
I saw, the ones that you have. I can't even pronounce it. I'm not smart.
Tara
Mahara.
Tara Hamara.
Hamara. Okay.
Tara Hamara.
Tara Hamara. And it was like, those are the 2 that I really like. But it's like, yeah, Argentines are large. And the other
Yeah,
ones
they
are
can
not.
get big.
So,
Yeah. Well, anything can get big, man. Depends on how you
Right.
feed it.
well, let me know when you have Argentine babies, okay?
All right.
So
Hopefully next year.
My question is back to ball pythons because I don't know anything about all that other stuff. Are you
All right,
doing
we'll learn you.
are you going to be doing any more HRA this year?
So what do I have this year in het red xanthic? I do. I have a clutch in the incubator of. I'm hoping for hypo het red xanthics, and they'll be 100% het clown. So it's kind of going back to that project. I have 2 female het red xanthic het clowns growing up. Hopefully they'll be ready late this season at the earliest. And then I have a het red xanthic fire het clown. Jeez, that sounds so goofy. She should be ready too, along with that group. That's so far. I think that's it. None of the supers are up to size. So my red xanthic is not up to size yet, and the het red xanthic Lori combo I have. I'm still not sold that they're the same gene yet. I'm still not sold. I don't care what prophecy says. I'm not sold on it yet. We got a $20 bet. I don't think they're the same. So Charlie's gonna hook it up, and we're gonna find out if they're the same. I don't think they've done it. Have they done it yet? Do you guys know?
Definitely not. Like,
No.
that's the
I
problem.
don't think they've tested it.
And that's the problem with some of the genes, like I get talked about with like KRG. It's like,
Right.
you need, like, if you think about it, or when Charlie explained it to me, it's like you need a lot of sheds to like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people are really breeding Lori or like
Supers,
that? Right?
or even supers? Yeah,
Right. It's like, so you need all the people with that gene to like get enough sheds in to actually map it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be like one of my customers who bought a KRG from me, like they test every animal full panel just to make sure. And they were like, and they're like, well, KRG's not on there, do you know when it will be? I was like, not for a long time. Like, I would need to send every KRG shed in for the next year for it to be on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like I'm curious with the HRA Lori stuff too.
Yeah.
I am too. I really want to know because Chris sent me one, and he is gorgeous. I love that snake.
He's pretty wild. Yeah, he's the pastel version of the Lori HRA. I also have a HRA, a GHI female that might get up to size. She's pretty wild looking.
What did you say she was again? Sorry, I missed it.
She's a GHI HRA, het red xanthic.
Yeah,
she's pretty wild looking. Lace blackback. Yep.
Just a gene I've never gotten into, and never. It's not like I didn't like it, but I never saw anything that was like, woo,
What, GHI?
No, no, not GHI. HRA, like Lori's.
HRA, yeah.
Lori's.
Give it some time. Give me a year or two. I'm gonna show you something that's gonna blow your mind.
The first one that really like caught me was Antoine at DPR, the red axanthic clown. I was like, oh, okay, like that's pretty cool.
That's a good starting base.
So I need you to get the visual hypo one,
Mm.
you know, and then like once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, like I can see where it's going now. Yeah, that's the cool thing with all the genes is like,
What's up, Matt?
What's up,
you know,
Matt?
HRA flew under my radar for so long, and then you hit one combo, and it's like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna like look at HRA stuff. It's cool. I need to. There's certain projects I need to see more of before I like buy it. Like, zebra. What? Like it's like.
I love it when he does that.
Like I want to see a pastel desert ghost hypo zebra.
Me too. I'm excited. Like this year, okay, it's weird. They're decent looking. I'm not gonna say they're bad looking. I think they look cool, but it's been pastel, orange dream, and yellow belly, and spot nose. That's it, and hypo.
Oh,
like 4 genes and hypo. And this year, you know, talking to some people, it's like, yeah, you'll get some double visuals. You might see a triple this year, and see some other stuff. But also, what scares me is they don't sell.
Have you guys seen the smoke gene?
Yep.
Yeah, like
I'm liking that.
A super is nice.
That's another one that it's like there's like 4 on Morph Market, right? There's like those scare me like bad because I'm like, okay, I want to see something. I'm, you know, who was it? One of my
Ken's working with it.
Yeah, one of my professors proclaims himself as a second bridge jumper, and I'm the same way. It's like,
who is Chris?
Ken, LMK.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait till he makes I'll trade him something.
Like for some of the genes, it's like, yeah, I want to make Monarch Clown Pied stuff first. I'm not going to, but like the smoke stuff or the HRA stuff, I'm way more hesitant to like, you know, jump into it when it's like I haven't seen a lot of it. I'd rather let other people do the dirty work and then like, you know,
and
what I know I like.
Yeah, when it gets to a point of where you think you might want to jump, to just find it with something in one of your projects,
right.
And then you know, that way you can still work it in.
It's like the HRA Hypo Clown, boom, fits right in. Or you know, smoke. I'm so lost on. Like you say it,
look of it. It's really nice.
You say it, I know it, I can picture it, but then I'm like, I've seen 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if there was any other combos or like I've seen the super, I know the normal, like or the normal, just single.
It's like,
but
that's like the carbon, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just another granite gene. It's I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do much in the long run.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's so many like that. And again, if you went out even last year and I think even now, going by a carbon for what I think it was like a fire carbon hat clown for like 10 grand up, or there was for a while.
That was way overpriced.
Right. And for
me,
they're
selling them for like 15.
Yeah. That's like for me, I'm like, I nope, I'm not gonna be the one to do it. Will I ever regret it? I mean, no, because I don't got the 10 grand, but like it's like, you know, I don't think in the long run most of the decisions like you can regret on some of those genes. You know, right. You get to do it when you can and when you feel comfortable. And HRA might be soon.
Yeah.
I really do like the HRA though. It is so pretty.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Do you I know this is way off base and you might not. Arroyo, do you have any or like thoughts on it? Like
I looked at it a lot. I used to watch a lot of R&B.
Yep.
I used to watch a lot of those guys' videos and Ben and what's his name and
Ben and Ryan, I think, or something.
Ryan, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of the videos and I believe in the gene. I've seen it. I've seen what it's done different things, but it's tough though. It almost almost reminds me of like a Harlequiness
Yeah,
type look,
yeah.
but it's a lot lighter. All the Harlequin stuff that I always try to figure out what it's doing is usually darker.
Mhm.
The Arroyo was always a lighter colored, but it always had some wicked striping to it. And I believe it's something. I just don't think enough has been done with it to really like make it land.
Yep, that was. Yeah, I got offered a Arroyo male breeder from one of my buddies. He was like, "Just take it, breed it to whatever you want, and give me some babies or whatever." And I was like, "I can't. Like, I was like, I don't know what I'd pair it to. Again, if I knew that the clown was good, I'd make hat clowns."
Bowling, that's right. That's what I'd do with 10K. Bet you I could get 2 with that.
We're so cool.
I know somebody.
Yeah, okay. So that's my next question, even though you might have already answered it. I don't know how many species you have. Seems to be a good amount. But what is one species you don't have? Snake, lizard, any reptile, whatever. That's your dream, Just
I definitely would love to get a pair of Bolins.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I know that's what everybody says, but they're just so awesome. They're just so wild. They're nice. I really love the blue. I don't know if they're eyelash vipers, but they're like the blue Ursula or whatever.
Yeah.
Those things are wicked too, but I could never have venomous.
You could. You're in PA.
I can't because I would be homeless. It's the law. Too many babies in the house.
Yeah. Holly, what
my 15-month-old is a terror, man. That kid's a beast.
Oh, now he is adorable.
Oh man.
15 months.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Damn.
What was your question, Tyler?
What's your dream species, Holly?
Oh man, I want venomous. I love venomous.
They're so beautiful.
Gaboon viper. That's what I really want.
Yeah. The albinos. Oh, they're so hot.
And they only the albinos were like 2 years ago or something was the first.
Yeah, they just came out of a whack clutch like 2 years ago.
And it wasn't even it was in South Africa, I think is what
I think so, yeah, in some kind of zoo.
It got posted and everyone went nuts. I remember
25 grand we can get one. I told my wife I'd refinance the house for this minute if she told me I could have one.
Really?
Oh my god! In a heartbeat.
You take an albino gaboon over a pair of Bolins,
Oh man, stop it! You're gonna hurt me now. I could get like 4 Bolins for that kind of money.
Okay, well, 4 Bolins or the albino gaboon.
Get a 1.3 and turn one of my rooms into just a Bolin enclosure. Oh, that would be nuts. Yeah, that's what you would have to do for them things, man. You would have to give them like a 10x10 room and like put a rain system in and like real plants. Like you spend that kind of money, you got to spend that kind of money on a habitat for an animal like that.
Right. That
would be awesome. Like put cliffs up in and just have it so you can drop the temperatures. Like they mimic their environment. That would be just, that would be like the ultimate dream. Imagine waking up one morning and just looking at that cage and just seeing that female coiled on a pile of eggs up on the shelf. Like,
oh my gosh! So how many more shows? How many more shows are you doing this year, and what shows?
So the Hamburg show is this weekend, but I got to go upstate New York and open up our cabin. So I'm missing Hamburg. Phil's taking one of my tables. Kai's got one, and Nicole, Lady Tiz. So thank you to them guys. Then May 4th we have Oaks again, and then May. I don't think there's anything else through May, June. There might be a Hamburg in June. I'm not positive. I gotta look at the schedule. But the Hamburg, Morgantown we'll be doing, and then Oaks, and then there's Gettysburg in I think Gettysburg's July. So that's it. About one a month. throughout to the fall, and then come fall time, I start fishing and hunting a lot. So I'll disappear about the middle of September. You won't see me until after Christmas.
Yeah, right.
You ever think about like hopping up to like a White Plains show or doing, because what all the shows you do are in PA, right? You don't do any out of state, right?
I did Repticon. I did Baltimore in January. I did January. That was a pretty good show. It was a good time. We took the whole family down, stayed the whole weekend, and it was worth it. But that's a lot of work with with everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You did do
So we drove out to Tinley in October. When we go out this October, we're probably just gonna fly out, me and the wife, but I'm probably gonna ship Adam some stuff and then he's gonna put it out. So I'll be vending with him, but I won't have to anything other than that though. Not really. I don't really vend too much out of state.
Okay, cool. I
like White Plains though.
Yeah, I was wondering why you never did.
How did you do in Tinley?
Tinley, I sold, what did I sell? I think I did like 1,800 revenue, but I sold it was a bunch of pine snakes. I think I can't think of the guy's name. Not LS Reptile, but he was a retail or a wholesaler, so he took like 5 or 6 of them. So I gave him a little bit of break and cut numbers because I didn't bring everything I had anyway. So I was like, that's cool, this way, because I wasn't sure how they were gonna do there. And then I had an old timer come up and want to trade me some locality gopher snakes, and like I just wasn't feeling it. I got rid of a pair of gopher snakes and like I'm just like, no, they just don't do it for me. So I kind of backed away from the trade, and he came out and balled them anyway, the other ones. So that was pretty cool. I would have had more on the table, but I didn't realize that bull snakes were an endemic to Illinois, so I didn't have the right permits and stuff like that for it. So I'll be better prepared in October. I spoke with the guy. Well, my wife spoke with the guy that's head of the state there to get all the licensing and everything. So I got to contact him and just go over like what I'm bringing and get the right paperwork. So I'll be bringing out some bull snakes and stuff like that.
Heck yeah.
That's it. I won't be bringing any ball pythons unless it's a one of a kind or something like that. I just want to show off.
Right.
So we'll see.
I think that's the hardest part about doing out of state shows. I mean, with different species. For balls, whatever, really.
Yeah, you usually are right anywhere with them.
But I think, the only ones like Florida, you need to bring anything in there. I think you need
Florida, you got to give them your firstborn to put anything in there.
But even with the Dallas show, it was no one knew. Not even, Brian and the guys running the show didn't know until after they booked it. And it was like, oh, you can have his red tail boas and balls.
Yeah, it's a shame. And red tail boas are like, they can get 8-9 foot. It doesn't make any sense. Like the true reds.
You can't have like rosy boas or sand boa. Like you can't have those, but it's like, get them.
It's so stupid.
Like I know, but
it's a shame. They're so uneducated.
Mm-hmm.
The people that make these,
From what I've heard is they're gonna have some of the like local politicians in at Dallas to like try and like get them educated, because if not, I think they're trying to move the show for the next one, but hopefully they'll see like reptile shows like the big like the NARBCs and the Daytonas and Pomonas and like that stuff. Those are great for the local economy. You're bringing people into Dallas from New York, from all around the country. People are flying and driving into Dallas and spending their money there. So,
Ken?
I hope. I think Dallas is a great spot. Like I've never actually been to Dallas. Went to Arlington. It was really, really nice, really cool. But I think that's one thing that always scares me, even with like US art. It's like, dude, you just can't ever rely on the laws, especially with the animals. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I think they can have like a display animal. one display animal. So I don't know. There's some people be like, "Oh yeah, this is a display, but you can meet me after the show." So who knows what's going to happen?
Me one county over.
Yeah.
Like again, I think it's just within the Dallas city ordinance. Like you go right outside of Dallas, you can have whatever you want.
Right.
Inside Dallas, they're like, nope. And it's ridiculous. And I kind of feel the same way about like New York and PA. I drive in 2 hours to Erie. I can buy a Gaboon for $200.
Oh, didn't even see you, man. You slipped in on me. Hey.
Oh, what's up, Black guy? Oh yeah, you can get Gaboons cheap at Hamburg.
So John just said this year is stuck in Dallas, but if we can get it to hit, we can help change the legislation.
Right.
Be nice.
So,
what if they're going to sign a petition or something, or what?
Well, I don't know that, but if they have the people in and city meeting, I don't know, okay, city council, something, get something changed, because again, if we make it a hit, like John said, and they see, there's 10, 20,000 people in this building right now looking at snakes.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, oh, this is actually this is money. Okay, they like money, so let's change it and get more.
I do know that space has 120 extra tables spots in there, so plenty of room. I'm excited to see it. But I'm with y'all. They need to change that law, and hopefully, it's a good venue.
That's how we got our table. Is when we were in Arlington, they announced it. 120 new tables at Dallas. Come sign up, and we were like, oh, okay.
Yep.
We'll go do it. And it's like real estate at those shows. So you don't get them, and you might not be able to get them for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever. Even though they're trying to change that. But again, I told Holly, it's like, we're probably going to lose at this show. And just because it's such a big expense for us to get there, but you can't lose the table.
Jeez, 40. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a hike, man. I don't even know how far that would be for me.
Yeah, it's I think 21 or 22. 21 maybe?
21 for you?
21 or 22.
Yeah, so it's close to the same for me. Jeez.
Yeah, I think we're doing 17 tomorrow and 4.5 on Friday. So,
hey, Chris, you should ride Tyler.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Chris, we'll come and grab you.
I'm going the other way. I'm going up towards Lake Ontario. I'm going the other way. I'm going the opposite way, bro.
Not by my house.
All right.
My rats.
To get back.
At least. Well, it depends on what gen we see, but whereabouts in Ontario are you going?
Right off the lake. We got a little chunk of property right up Pulaski, right up off Route 80 or 81.
I'll look how far that is, because
from you, it's about 45 minutes north of Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
So you're closer to Erie, I think. You're in the bottom of Ontario, right?
Yeah, there's Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse.
Yeah.
So you're probably an hour and a half out.
Mr. John Feely, I have so many rats for you right now. You better get ready to trade some snake. A good snake.
Holly, you need to get Monarch, all right? I'm letting you know. Get Monarch from John. Get into it.
I have Ultramil.
It's because you're cool.
Okay. Huh?
What?
I can hear you.
I didn't hear anything about Monarch. Sorry, I just heard Ultramil. That's all I heard.
Yeah. They're both.
Nah, they're good. They're both.
If I didn't fall into Monarch, I probably would have Ultramil. It's like that's what I. It's like I don't know why. It's like if I didn't get that Monarch pair, I'd probably have Ultramil.
I had to restrain. I almost bought a Monarch the other day. I was like, no, I can't. Too much. I have too many already. Too many projects.
It's
tough.
I loved it when he was a baby, But really, what really got me was like 8 months old. I was like, oh, okay. Like, he's holding his color. He's getting better. I was like, okay, I need more monarch stuff. And like, okay, well, let's get more.
Yeah.
And it's my most exciting thing. So what's your biggest clutch for the year? Like most exciting out of the 25 you could have? Is there one clutch that you're like, okay, if I could only have one, it'd be this one?
Oh, jeez.
Or like 3, because I know like 1 can be hard.
Yeah, there's a couple. Like, I'd love to hit a yellow belly Enchi tri-stripe het hypo. I'd like to hit that.
Ooh.
I'd like to hit a. What would be the other one? Would be a nice hit. Everything that's involved would be chocolate, Enchi, lesser pastel, black pastel, and hypo clown.
Ooh.
So it's a long shot on some stuff, but if I could pick a couple hypo clowns out of that, that'd be pretty cool.
What's the odds on that? Like double visual to double hat, single, what are
It's
you?
the female's a double het and the male is a visual het. So
Yeah, you're
some long odds.
Yeah, you're rough odds. What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's all right though.
What was that 1 and 8 for a double visual, and then getting your codons in is just
Yeah, all over the place.
right.
I bred her to a double visual pastel male the year before, and she gave me 3 visual hypo clowns. So I feel good with the odds gods.
What is she?
She was in a chocolate and she double het.
Oh, okay.
And I bred her to a double visual, and she gave me a pastel and she chocolate hypo clown, a chocolate and she hypo clown. So some good building blocks for that project.
Send me a picture of those. I'm trying to hit some chocolate hypo stuff that's going to be double het clown pied, and I want to know if I'm making the right decision. I think I will.
I don't know what chocolate does to pied as far as pattern wise, but I know it'll help with your color.
Well, I'm more geared the chocolate hypo clown. The het pied was like kind of an add-on.
I tell you what looks good with chocolate. That's banana.
Okay, yeah.
I love it. Banana chocolate stuff. Like actually, I got 2 males who could go to her, but I got the GHI Mojave pastel chocolate het hypo, and I'm like, I'll either pair to a hypo clown het pied or super Enchi OD hypo clown. So I'm trying to. I mean, she was a 22 baby, 18 months old right now, sitting at 17. And
oh boy.
Yeah, she's not like ridiculous. She's 1700 grams. Quickest animal I've ever gotten up to breed. So I was like, yeah, I want chocolate hypo clown stuff. So send me a picture of the chocolate hypo clowns you hit, because I don't know why I haven't seen any double visuals on Morph Market. Chocolate hypo clowns just kind of
they go quick. There's not much. They go real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Send me pictures of those. I'm interested. Yeah, and just seeing what they look like.
Yeah. Third one would be a leopard yellow belly clown het hypo female to that black pastel lesser pastel vanilla visual clown het hypo. So long odds on the hypo, but it makes some pretty killer clowns. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Odds wise, that's not.
That was a last minute one I picked up on an auction, but definitely.
The female or the male?
The female.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Danny, DTMG. Appreciate it.
Danny.
He's a bad probably.
What are you feeling on the auction stuff? Holly and Chris, like how many have you done any won any auctions, Holly, or done any of it?
Not done any. Huh. I just got through paying off a whole bunch of snakes, and I still owe Phil for a snake.
Yeah.
I don't have auction money.
Right.
Yeah, they're tough to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they first came on, I added about 8 or 9 animals. I was just like, oh man, the price is right. I had to. Yeah. Yeah, I added a bunch. I dropped a good bit. Like I I got all my taxes done. I did my P&L, and I was like, or my my profit and P&L sheet, and I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, I know what I could spend or what we could do for the year, and I'm like, oh, these deals are just too good. So I kind of did like all my upgrading already, so I'm done for the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I sold a few on there, but they didn't do incredible. I mean, they moved and they weren't moving at shows. So
Okay.
yeah.
I've had the mixed review. I think I've only won one auction. Well, two technically. I won 2 auctions.
It's something you got to stay on top of. You got to watch the time.
Right, you got to watch the time, and you have to set a limit. You like if it hits 800, don't touch the button. Like, do not add any more.
It's tough when you really want it.
The funniest thing, I showed my mom these auctions, and I was like, "Oh, this one's like interesting." And I was like, 800. That's what we go to or whatever. It hits 800, and she's like, "What's it at?" Like, 810. She goes, "Go 850." I'm like, "Mom, no!" Like, she got so like locked in. Like, gotta win it.
What's up, Chris?
But yeah, the ones I've sold on the auctions, I think I did 3. 2 were not very great for me. 1 was pretty good. Like,
nice. Yeah, there was one that I was bidding on a couple. One of yours I was bidding on a little bit, but I was like, no, I can't. I'd already bid too much on another one.
which one was it?
I don't remember. I think it was a pair of something.
Those were the 2 that for me didn't do good.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were.
Trios up, and they went for me like it was a killer clown female. God, what were they? It was a killer clown female, a het clown that was pos het pied, and then a like banana and she lesser spider blade clown, all proven, and they went for 400 or 500 or something like that.
Yeah, that wasn't the one I bid on.
The best auction I did was my het pair, and the funny thing is, auction wise, it didn't go great. The guy hit me up and was like, "I see you got the other 2. Throw those in there full price." I was like, "Yo," I was like,
well, that's what busted my balls because I'm bidding on auctions and I'm like, all right, so this guy's got this. I'm like, well, what else is in that project? So I searched his morph market and I found like this one guy. I found like 8 other animals and I like emailed him like, yo, I'm like, what would you do for all these? And they were all like 600 gram 22s, like late 22 double heads and just odd things. And I'm like, oh, these things would fit perfect. And I'm like, would you take this? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, all right, then like ship it. So like, it was tough, you know?
Yeah.
But you talk to people. That's all you got to do.
It was so funny. And we were at the start, we we're like, oh, we thought the Monarchs would go for a little more. It was just a calico something, and it was just a pair.
That was the one I think I was bidding on, just kind of effing around early on. And I was like, I can't do much with this.
I forget what they actually went for. It might have been 800 or
yeah, it was a little higher. Yeah.
Dude hit me up and was like, throw the other 2 females in. I said, okay, sure.
And he didn't even haggle the price, right?
No, he was like, hey, would you throw the other 2 in? And I said, are like you paying? He was like, yeah. I was like, well then, yeah.
You just auction all of them off.
It's like, dude, it was so unexpected too. We were like, we thought they'd go a little more, and then he like smacks 2 more hets out of our rack. And we're like, okay, I guess we'll take that. Like,
yeah, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I mean, when you set up for these auctions, you got to start low, and like you got to really, people are out to get a deal, so you're never going to get market value unless it's something that's one of a kind and nobody's selling it. You gotta, you get a third of that animal's price. You got to be happy with it.
Yeah,
third,
No, and the ones I'm like curious about are like the reserves on some of these. Yeah. I'm looking at them and I'm like, for me, the auction is stuff that I'm willing to let go of for half price, third price, whatever. Like kind of what it suck, yeah, but it's like they've been to shows, they won't go, or just the Monarchs it's our first auction, let's get the Monarchs, whatever. But I'm seeing like 2 gene clowns at 500 on bids, and they haven't hit reserve.
Oh,
Or like not even like crazy clown combos. They're like ODNG clown female, like $400 reserve not met. I'm like, whoa.
See, that's why you got to go and watch Warfel Morphs auction, especially when Danny gets on there, because you get a great price.
That's where I got my good deal. That well, you know, it's funny. Those guys that set those reserves so high, or those businesses that do that, they'll figure it out because when your reserve isn't met, that's your auction. You lost it. If you get 2 and you put a high reserve and they don't meet, you lost your 2 auctions for that month unless you buy more. Yeah. So they'll post them back up the next month, either with a smaller reserve or no reserve.
And honestly, I think I don't know, business wise, if it makes, more sense. I think it does, but just don't put your reserve, put your starting bid. Like there's an auction right now. It's been on auction. This is its 3rd time. Always had a reserve and never hit reserve. Obviously they didn't go. And I saw him get posted yesterday with the starting bid. And I was like, yep, 0 bids on them still. There's 40 hours left ish. And I was like, yep. Okay. I'll get those. And they've been on auction 2 times already. And it's like, okay, yeah, like that on the reserve kind of sometimes scares me. I'm like, what are you doing here? So I don't know, just as a customer, I'm like, I kind of want to see like the base price, because it's also like if you see the highest bid on this was $1,000 and your reserve isn't met, for me, it's like, man, do you hit up the breeder and it's like, well, it didn't go. Like, what's your reserve? Or if they put the starting bid at $2,000 and it doesn't go, it's like, oh, well, is that no one's paying it? So you might just.
I did that. I did that before. There was an animal up, and the reserve wasn't shown. Yeah, I bid 150 on it. It was like a single gene het male, maybe a 2 gene het male. Yeah. I forget what it was. I didn't care what the het was, and I was like, I know the breeder. I'm like, I'll throw it out there. So I put 150. I was the highest bid, and it came back reserve not met. So I reached out to him, and I said, "Yeah." I said, will you do it for 200 shipped or something like that? And he said the reserve was 200. Oh. And that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Haven't talked to him since. And like, I don't talk to him every day. Like, and I will talk to him when I see him at a show, and like, it's all cool and great, but it's just like, I don't know. Did you save money? Do you still have that animal? What was another $50, $30? I don't know. Like, where is your point at when you put these things up on auction? And that's where everybody's different. Everybody's outlook is different with them.
Now this comment right here. I was going to bid on one day. I dropped out, and it took 20 minutes after the original end time and to finally get a winner, $5 more, then reset for 5 minutes, 5 more minutes. Hard to stay with it. So I've heard that too, how it resets the time every time somebody bids.
And it does, yeah. Good, but for me and some of the other people I've talked to, it's like you kind of change you can't bid 5. It's like if you really want the auction.
What's up, Pat?
If your limit's 800 and it's at 200, go to 400.
Yeah, be aggressive.
And for me, because first off, that can scare people off, and second, it also lets you know how interested the other people are with their response time. Because like if you go from 2 to 4 and 3 seconds later they're at 450, it's like, oh, these people, like they really
they're in the game,
right? Yeah. So I hated the first auction I won.
$5 increments.
Yeah, the first auction I won, my limit was like $1,000. I was like, okay, be all right. There was 2 other people that I knew of bidding, and they were going $5. I was like, okay, 150. And then they stopped bidding, and I got it for like $500. And again, the snake probably should have went for more. And with what I can make with it, yeah, like I would have paid $1,000 for it. So, like, you gotta like figure out how serious the other people are and just have your limit. I hated the 5. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just go.
That's funny.
And sometimes it's fun to play the game too, but
so I know it's getting on late here, so I want to ask Chris the final question. I know he's got his family. There you go, Chris. What is the dumbest thing someone has said to you after they find out that you're a snake breeder?
Yeah, it's usually, what? Are they just like all loose in a room? That's usually what you get. That's fine. Like, no. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's pretty the dumbest. I mean, but typical questions. Do you ever get bit? All the time. What do you mean? Oh, that's a pet? Well, yeah, it happens. Still a wild animal. Yeah, those are just some of the things. Some other one, yeah, why? That's one. That's a big one. Not even just no questions, just why.
So I was talking to my neighbor, and him and his wife had come over one day. They didn't know we had snakes here, and they were terrified. And of course, I pulled out some babies and let them hold them, and they were like, oh, "This is pretty cool." So he told his grandma about it, which, I mean, they're an adult couple, right? And every time he talks to his grandma now, she's always asking him, "So do you got any snakes coming over yet? You had any problem with your neighbors and their snakes?" And he's like, "No, Grandma, it's not like I have them. They have them outside, walking them on a leash or something."
Yeah, we got them on the run outside.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, thank you, Chris, for your time. Always enjoy talking to you. You're great. Everybody loves Chris, right?
Everybody loves Chris.
Try to be likable.
You are. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a really good turnout too. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't see the chat. I tried to bounce around my phone, but then I can't see the screen, and then I try to get back, and I don't want to mess anything up.
So next Wednesday is the Reptile Lounge, and we will be talking about the NARB Dallas show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. Everybody come back.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you.